Good morning, fellow gardeners. My name is Irene. Today I'm filming a small tour of what I have growing in my yard. I'm also filming my very first video and introduction to my new channel, Green Hill Gardening. So let's get started. I'm going to start with what I have growing over here. It's a small area in my yard that allows me to grow some fruits and vegetables. So right over here I have a 4-tier Dollar Tree stackable planters. I have radishes growing on the bottom. I have herbs growing in the second layer from bottom. I have nothing in the third layer because I'm going to the garden store to look for flowers for my strawberries that I just transplanted. That's on the top layer. And I gotta get some mulch as well. And in the pot I have growing some dill, and I have 3 watermelon plants growing in the pot. So eventually when it fills over, I'll have 3 watermelon plants, radishes, herbs, which I have dill, lemongrass, basil, and I think I have some chives growing in there. And then again on the second layer I'm going to put flowers in there that will help my strawberries on that top layer right there. I'm going to go ahead and back up and show you what I have growing down here. Now all of those gardenias are from propagated plants. Right over here I have more propagated pickings that I threw in this soil, because the soil is not very good for any kind of vegetables. I can't get anything to germinate and grow in this area, so I'm hoping that those will help this area so that I can grow some vegetables in this section and not in a pot. I also have this lime tree right here that I've had for several years, but the first couple years I didn't fertilize it, so I didn't get any fruit. And then the next 2 years after not fertilizing it, I pruned it, and I pruned it down too much, and so I didn't get fruit for another 2 years. And then now I think I have maybe 10 limes on this tree for this season. I'm going to fertilize again and make sure that I water it well, and also prune it down, but just a little, so that I can hopefully get more than 10 fruits next season. I think this tree grows fruit 2 times a year. Right over here I have 4 squash plants and some marigolds, and right over there I have 4 cucumber plants and I think 1 marigold. Right here I have a blueberry plant and a raspberry plant, like right there. I'm eventually going to take that raspberry out once I get some good roots growing. Right over here I have a compost bin, and all back here I plan on putting 8x2s, 8x2 planters, and that I'm gonna get from Home Depot. So right down here I have some fill dirt and some compost, because my yard just doesn't have enough soil or dirt for me to fill any of my pots. So I ordered that, and that was $59 to order dirt and compost. I also have some peat moss right there, and I have my bin that I mix my soil in here. So I have a lot of cleaning to do right back there, and I was going to use these buckets to plant some vegetables in, but I don't think I'm going to use those after all, because I plan on buying the 8x2s, cleaning this up and putting them in there. Right down here, I am using a bucket for my lavender, and these two are raspberry stems that I'm hoping will get some really nice roots going, and I get some bushy raspberry plants out of those two stems. I actually bought that from Home Depot. So I'm just crossing my fingers that I can get some really good roots down there. Please excuse the airplanes that are flying by. I live near a small airport, so I'm gonna get a plane every now and then in the middle of my recording. I'm also not a professional videographer, so bear with me. I want to show you this right here. A couple years ago, I had those two buckets here, and I had tomato plants in them, and they were vining tomato plants, and the vine grew all the way up this and into the pine tree. So I had lots of tomato coming from this area. I think I might do it again, but I don't know if it's too late in the season to start a brand new tomato plant. So I'm going to bring you right over here. I have these two plants and some gardenia. These are, I don't actually know what they're called, but they are vining plants, and they produce little purple bonnet type flowers on them. And it's taken me, I think, about 10 years. These are propagated from the original two plants that I had, but it's actually taken me 10 years to get to this point. I knew nothing about these, so I didn't know that they were supposed to be pruned down every season, and they grow back beautiful just like they are now. And I have them on trellises, so I'm hoping to get really big plants out of those eventually. I've literally had those for like 8 or 10 years. Right over here, I have a really pretty jade plant that I found on a walk. There was a broken piece of jade, so I picked it up and I planted it in some soil, and this is what I have out of it. I actually have another plant on the other side of my yard growing from clippings from that. And then right over here, I have some succulents. These are all propagated from other plants. So it looks like they're doing really, really well. This one wasn't doing very well because it was overwatered, and I had to pick all of the overwatered leaves from down here, and then I just transferred it into this, and this is what all of my propagated plants look like. And eventually I'm going to make a beautiful arrangement out of those. Down here I have a plant that I bought from the Dollar Tree. No, not the Dollar Tree, the 99-cent store when it was open. I think I bought that like 3 years ago, and I've been propagating from that. And this is actually the biggest the original plant has gotten. Here I have some propagated plants as well. This one's doing really well. They're all doing really well actually, and then eventually I'm going to use those and make an arrangement with those. This is a cute little arrangement I made out of propagated plants, and that one's doing really well. I love the way that one looks in the tin. Right over here I have a pomegranate tree. It's not a bush because it's growing off of a really long trunk all the way up, and that's what I have growing right now. And then right over here I have some loquat or kumquat trees. I have a kumquat tree right here. Right down here I have another arrangement of succulents. Right here I have some chives, and and they're bolting. I still cut from them, and I'm also going to use the bolted flowers for seed. And then right over here, I have a beautiful plant that my husband bought me for my birthday that's grown that big. And I have geraniums in it in the pot as well. Geraniums aren't my favorite plant, but they just seem to grow really good for me, so I'm going to keep those. Right here I have another succulent. I have another succulent arrangement there. And then right over here I have a fig tree. And my fig tree is not doing very well this year. It's actually producing fruit, but they're really small and they're dropping. They're dropping green. They're dropping really small and they're dropping really green. Usually I come out and pick them when they're really big and purple, but this year that's not happening. So right over here I have some succulents growing down there. I have some lavender pickings that I'm growing here, and I think this is a cantaloupe plant. And then here I had some tomatoes. Oops, right over here. Right here. I have some tomatoes and marigolds growing, but I'm not sure if anything's gonna come out of there. Okay, so this house plant is sitting here because I need to transplant it and cut it down some. And I need to change out that soil. So that's been sitting here for a couple of days because I work full-time, and you know, I can only do so much in a day. So it's been sitting here, and it'll sit here until I can get to it. So right over here I have some lavender that I planted last summer, and it stayed dormant. Nothing happened. Nothing ever grew. And good thing I didn't use this pot of soil for something else, because after the winter season, and then we got 2 more seasons, this spring it actually gave me some plants, and that's what I have propagating over there. Actually, this grew 4 plants, so I took one out and I have a few in here, and I put some rocks in here so it'll act like more native. I don't know. Hopefully that rock helps us out. Right over here I have a pot of bean plants, and I think originally I grew 12 bean plants, but 6 died and I have 6 left and they're being chewed on, so hopefully I get some flowers and some plants out of there. If not, I'm just going to go buy another package of bean seeds and then just add to it. This is a hot banana pepper plant that I bought from Lowe's. I typically don't do that, but this year, I don't know, I just wanted to try these banana pepper plants. And in this pot I have some lavender that I picked off of the original plant, and then I have some sugar baby watermelons in this pot that I hope will germinate. Right over here I have a jalapeno plant. This jalapeno plant I've had for 3 years, and I was literally gonna throw it away, but I transplanted it. I probably transplanted this jalapeno plant 10 times, and finally it's really big and beautiful and has bloomed a lot of flowers, and it's just gorgeous. So hopefully I get a lot of jalapenos off that. Right here looks like a pumpkin plant, but I'm not sure. It's either pumpkin or squash. And that was a volunteer plant. Right over here I have some bell peppers growing, and believe it or not, these are also 3-year-old plants. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think I have like 10 green peppers on these 2 plants. Then right over here, I have a serrano pepper plant. All of these pepper plants I've had for like 3 years and just, you know, keep growing from them. Right here, I have a nectarine tree that I bought at Lowe's for half off last season. I have a geranium in the pot where the serrano peppers is planted, and it's kind of just layered. The little pot is inside the big pot. And then right over here, I have some wildflowers growing right at the base of this plum tree. I bought this plum tree at Lowe's as well for half off. And then right over here, I have some strawberry plants that I need to transplant, and I believe there are about 8 individual plants in this one pot that I need to transplant. So I just wanted to show you my yard is pretty landscaped, so I don't have much room for gardening on this side. This is what it looks like over here. And then right over here, I don't have much room for gardening either because I have this ficus bush for privacy, but it provides a lot of shade as well, so I can't plant anything underneath it. So that's this side of my yard. Okay guys, right here I have some wild strawberries that I took from my yard, thinking I was gonna get some really nice strawberries from it, but this is what it's growing. Tiny little strawberries, and this plant has yellow flowers, and so that indicates that it is a wild strawberry, which I'm not sure if I want to eat. I'm just doing it as an experiment. I want to see what grows and how it grows and what they taste like, and if I don't like it, I'm going to pull that and plant something else. Right here, it took me 3 years to get this pepper plant. It's a mixed pepper plant. It took me 3 years to get it to look like this. The soil that I had it in originally wasn't any good, so it was just stuck. It didn't grow, it didn't get any new leaves, it didn't do anything, but I transplanted it into this planter, and I put some really good soil in it and some compost, and it's doing really well. That's another pepper plant. Right over here is another green pepper plant, and I don't know if it's marigolds or tomato plants growing down there, but I think they're getting eaten. Right here is a cherry tomato plant, which is doing really well. It has a bunch of yellow flowers, like right there and right there and down there, and then I have a couple of bunches of tomatoes there. And then this one is a brandywine, and I wasn't getting any flowers coming off this one, and it's really big and it's growing really healthy, but it's just growing leaves. And then I put some compost and some pine needles down in there for mulch, and I finally got a flower. Where is it? Right there. So I hope, let me shake it a little bit. I hope it gives me at least 2 tomatoes. And then right over here I have a couple of cantaloupe plants growing, and they're not doing really well, but that's okay. I have one cantaloupe growing right back there, and then some male flowers came out this morning, but I didn't have any females to pollinate with. Right over here I have some marigolds, and I think that is a cantaloupe plant as well, but something is chomping on them. I'm gonna have to cover it. I don't like that. I did transplant 3 cantaloupe plants, one there, and there, about 4 days ago. So I'm hoping I get something from those. And then right down here I have some onion chives that I bought from the grocery store, and I let the roots get really healthy, and then I planted them in, and this is my second year. I took them out of the other pot and I cleaned them up and I cut them down, and this is going to be my second year growing chives from the store-bought plant right in there. Okay, right here it looks like I'm not having any luck because I had tomatoes, chives, and carrots growing in this pot, and I actually had some chives and some carrots and some tomatoes, and now I have nothing. There's nothing left. So anything that is fresh and baby, it gets eaten. But leave a comment in the comment section if you're a new gardener and let me know if that happens to you. I do watch a lot of YouTube channels with a lot of new gardeners gardening, and they seem to have the same problem. So right over here I have an avocado tree, and then right down here I have some cilantro growing. I have some transplanted strawberries. Right back there I have some bok choy and some spinach, and right here I had a row of spinach there as well, and some germinated but they got eaten. I have this bok choy right here in the middle. I might have to either transplant or thin out, and then right over here I have some spinach. If I don't get anything here, I'm gonna have to plant more seeds. And then right over here is my strawberry patch. I have, I think, 10 strawberries growing. I'm waiting for my straw to come in. I just transplanted them, so they look a little not good, but they will eventually. This is all new soil and compost. So yeah, that's what I have in my yard. Guys, if you've made it all the way through to the end of this video, thank you so much. If you're interested in my journey, hit the subscribe button and continue to follow, and I'll give you updates on everything that I plant, all of my new seeds, where I get my seeds from, and when I start my new plants. So stay tuned, and thank you so much for subscribing. And if you are anything like me, I'm sure you spend a lot of money on soil and fertilizer and transplants, and you hardly get any fruit. But I think with gardening, it's trial and error. I know there are a lot of videos that show farmers with an abundance of fruits and vegetables, but we're not farmers. We're just backyard gardeners, and so this is what we have, and this is what we have to work with. Oh, I wanted to show you really quick right down here. There's a bunch of weeds, I know, but these are the wild strawberries. Now there is a story, a backstory to these. I did have these wild strawberries growing prior to me throwing some strawberry seed down. So I thought I was gonna get some ever-bearing strawberry plants, and maybe they are. I'm not sure if they are, but I'm letting them grow just in case. And we'll see what happens with these plants. Thank you so much for subscribing, and before I let you go, I want to let you know that I'm so excited to start documenting what I have growing in my yard and sharing it all with you.